They want it right away, so they jack the rates up. They jack the rates up. So if you do it a little later, if you get them prepared by somebody who's honest, and it's going to be the same all along. But believe me, they jack the rates up. Near the end of tax season, you can get a 50% discount. At least that's how it was for me last year. And that's the thing. People want it right away. You tell them, 8 to 15 days, 45. Today, 125, 150. A lot of times, they're excited. You know, you put the numbers in and you go, you've been approved. They're like, yeah. And you're like, wow, yeah, you paid all that money just to get it today. And sure, some people might be in a bind. They might be in a bind. But I think most people, they've got that mindset that they're going to pay that extra money and they don't care. Some people, you tell them, they're getting $300 or $400 back. The cost to prepare them is going to be about $250. And you'll lead them to free sites and say, you know what? You can pay $50 if you go to this website, or you can get it done free. Some people go, you know what? I'll probably mess it up. They don't think, you know, maybe I can learn this. Because tax preparation, depending, sometimes it can be complicated. Sometimes you shouldn't do it yourself, but sometimes you can do it yourself. But there's some people who just say no. I remember a man, he was getting a ring, and he was getting $500 back, and we were going to charge him about $200. And I told him, go to the site. He's like, no, that's okay. That's okay. You go ahead and do it. You know, so he had less money for that ring. And that's the thing. So, you know, be prepared. Shop around. Don't just go to the first place. There's places where it can be done free for you or people you know. I mean, there are people who are not here who you know are going to pay $200 to get that loan. Let them know. There's places they can go. They can get tax software. I've been doing my taxes myself for probably 10 years. 10 years, 8 years. I pay about $70 a year because I get the software and do it myself. And some people can do it online free, but I'll charge you. I mean, if you want me to do it, I'll do it. I'm not going to give you a row, but I will do it. And I'll charge you a fair price too. But we're not talking about me right now. And be honest. And the reason I say be honest, this is my own commentary. I come in and I see people, and I'll tell you, it's a sad state. I see 18 and 19-year-olds and say, you know what, I took care of my little brother all year long so they can get earned income tax. And you know what? I think that's great. But, you know, I think we'd be in a better world if 18 and 19-year-olds really did take care of their brothers and sisters all year long. But they get between $2,600 and $5,000 back for their earned income checks, and they're just lying. And I'm, you know, but I don't tell them they're lying because, you know, if they say they're taking care of them, then I take them for their word. But the thing is we have to, you know, be honest about it. People say, well, what if I put my brother's kids on here? People say that, and I was like, you know what? You know what? Don't do it. Don't do it. But people do that because all they're worried about is what they can get. It's what they think. It's thinking. It's changing their thinking. And people need to change their thinking because I'll tell you something about earned income tax credit. If you're caught doing that and you actually should get it, for 10 years you will not get it. That'll be your penalty. Some people should get their earned income tax because of their income level. And some people shouldn't because they're lying. But like I said, if you get caught, your penalty is you will not get earned income tax credit for 10 years. So that's why I say be honest, shop around, look around, ask questions. Ask questions because there are people who know. Be patient. You don't need that money. You don't need that money tomorrow. If you really, really do it.
I was just gonna.
It's on.
It's on.
Yes.
I was just gonna add that when you, in reference to learning to do it yourself, H&R Block actually, the class for tax preparers it's like $90.
Right.
And you don't have to work with them to take the class. You
Right.
can just take the class to gain the knowledge to be able to do it yourself.
That's a good point. Since you're throwing names out there, you're right. I worked for Jackson Hewitt for 2 years, and the tax course is free. The books are $99, and you will learn all about doing taxes. And it seems people came to me and say, "Ooh, what do you have to do to learn how to do this? You probably have to be really smart, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm really smart, but you don't have to be really smart. You don't. You can learn to prepare taxes. You can learn to do it." And the thing is everybody is not going to prepare taxes, and it's your choice. It's your choice. But the thing is you should know you have choices. If you want to pay $200, that's your choice. But you should know that you don't have to pay $200 if you don't want to. Life insurance. Looking at life insurance, there's an interesting quote somebody made, and I think it's really interesting. It says, during our lifetime, We invest 80,000 hours into building our resources, but less than 2 hours planning on how to transfer them. 80,000 hours, there's 2,000 hours in a work year. So if we work 40 years, we work 80,000 hours building what we have. But as far as planning how to transfer them, how many people have a will? Okay. And that's what I mean, planning how to transfer it. So what if something should happen to you? What would you do? What would your family do? You know, you don't even have to raise your hand. How many people have life insurance? Don't raise your hand. Because, I mean, if you don't, I don't want to make you feel bad. But the thing is what if something should happen to you? What if something should happen to you? Who's going to take care of those final arrangements? Are you going to hope the church does? You're going to hope Preston does? Really? No, but really, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? Somebody's going to need to take care of you. And it doesn't have to be $100,000. It might just be enough to take care of your funeral. But the standard recommendation is 7 to 10 times your income. But it really depends on your need. It depends on your need. Because I've got a mortgage. I want to make sure my kids go to college. So, if I should die today, I want my mortgage paid for. I want my kids' college tuition paid for. Then if they get scholarships, it can all go to my wife. But, so you look at it. It can be 7 to 10 times your income, but if you don't have children, and you don't have a mortgage, then those are things you might not have to worry about. But you have to look at your situation and decide, what do I want? Do I want my wife to ever work again, or my spouse? Do I want them to ever work again? Or do I want them to just be okay for a year and then give them a year to decide what they're going to do? You have to look at your own situation and decide what you want to do. You can sit down with somebody and talk about that, like Preston. Because Preston does prepaid legal, where you can get a will for $29.95 a month. No, but you can sit down and talk to somebody. There are people you can talk to. And I think that's important. There are resources. You can talk to me. There are other people you can talk to. That is so important. And I bring this up mainly because I think it's so important. And I talk about Mary J. Blige. And I talk about her because, to me, she was so impressive that she was on Oprah once, and she talked about contracts in her early years. In her early years, she said she would sign a contract and she had no idea what the contract said. And she was too embarrassed to say, I don't know what I'm signing. She said she felt stupid. But she said because of that, she got beat out of so much money. So much money. And then finally, she decided enough is enough. She started asking questions. She started learning about the contracts and reading them. She started controlling her own destiny. And that's what happens to us a lot of times. A mortgage, anybody who's ever gotten a mortgage, at closing can be intimidating. There's lots of pages to sign. And you just want to say, you know, they say sign, you say, don't read it, I'll just sign it, it doesn't matter, I trust you. And believe me, I hate for people to tell me to read every page, but it's your right. It's your right. If you don't understand, ask questions, because you're the one signing. You're the one on the hook for the mortgage, for the loan. You are. Once they've gotten their fees, they're going goodbye, and they've said, you signed. You said you understand. And there's no problem with saying, I do not understand, because you're on the hook for whatever it is. So make sure, if you need to know something, ask the questions. Ask the questions. As far as life insurance, the main reason is the death benefit. And the reason I put that up there is I spent a little time at Prudential. And they taught me that is the main reason, because when you're buying life insurance, sometimes they talk about, you can take a loan out against your life insurance, or you can set up a savings account. That's not the main reason you get life insurance. I have people come to me and say, I can take a loan out. But that's not why you get a life insurance. If you want a loan, you take out a loan. If you want a savings account, open a savings account. But the main reason is to take care of your situation after you've passed on. Okay, so think about life insurance. There's several kinds of life insurance. Two of the main kind, term insurance and whole life insurance. And what you should know is pick the one that is best for you. Pick the ones, not for me, because I would make a lot more money if I was an insurance agent selling you whole life insurance than I would term life insurance. But it's about you, not about me. And one of the last things we're going to talk about is the Declaration of Financial Empowerment. The first principle of the Declaration